Hello to my fourth grade Griffin artists. Today we are going to be learning about an art form called origami. Origami. And origami is an art form of folding paper. In Japanese, ora means fold and kami means paper. And it was first invented actually in China around 105 AD and was brought to Japan by monks in the 6th century. Handmade paper was considered a luxury. If you can believe it, yes, there was a time where paper was considered a luxury. And I think you all know what a luxury is, right? It's something that's rare, something that's expensive. Maybe you've probably heard of a luxury car before. That's a car that probably isn't very common. It's probably pretty rare. And it's luxury usually means it's expensive. And made with beautiful and sort of more expensive materials. So since paper was a luxury, it was only available to few people and used really in sort of ceremonies, religious ceremonies and things like that. But of course, over the years, they figured out ways to make paper and then it became more accessible. And so now fast forward to 2020, and here I am talking to my Griffins with all the paper in the world about origami. And this is now like a very recreational, fun type of hobby that a lot of people have. My 6th grader loves origami and has been really interested in it and making all sorts of different things. And I thought this would be a really fun project for us to do. So we're going to learn how to make 2 different origami shapes today. One being the heart, because come on, I mean, isn't the heart just one of the best shapes ever? And of course, Valentine's Day is coming. So I thought, I would like to tie in origami with Valentine's Day. So let's learn how to make a simple heart and let's learn how to make a whale because, oh my goodness, first of all, who can resist a whale? And then I thought it would be so cute to do something like I whaley love you on a Valentine card. And then we can make the baby and the baby and the mama or the daddy and the baby or however you want to do it. So let's just say Mrs. Hugh has been making lots of whales and is whaley excited to do this video. Here's a pink whale, and this reminds me of Vineyard Vines. So let's get started. Now, what you're going to need for this video are the papers that you brought home from school. If you're saying to yourself, oh my gosh, I don't have them, or oh my gosh, I don't know where they are, please don't worry. Just grab a piece of paper. Hopefully you have the papers, the construction paper that I sent home with you, which are these larger pieces of paper, okay? So you're going to need a scissors. You're going to need a scissors, and it would be great if you also had tape. Now, of course, don't stress if you don't have either one of these things, but it would just make your life and this art video go a little bit smoother if you had a scissors and tape. You really need the scissors. The tape, I'll show you what we're going to be using with the tape. For the reason why I mentioned the tape is here's an origami heart that I did, and here's another origami heart that I did. I used tape on the back of this origami heart to secure down the flaps, and it makes it flatter and just kind of easier. This one, I didn't have the tape for, and as you can see, it's just kind of popping open. I mean, it's not horrible, but it would be kind of, I feel like it's going to make you a little bit nuts that it's popping open a little bit, and it's just kind of nice to have that tape to have it secure so it can lay flat, especially if you're going to put it on a card or anything like that for someone. Okay, so that's why the tape. The scissors, we're going to need the scissors because we're going to be cutting down our paper into squares. Origami, you generally start with a square shape like this. So I'm going to show you how you're going to take the paper that you brought home from school with you and cut it into a shape that you can create our origami projects out of. So take out your paper pause this video if you need to go and get all your supplies. Okay. You're going to take out your paper. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold our paper in half. And in origami, they call this a book fold. Look at me talking all origami. Don't worry, that's the only term I know. This is called a book fold for obvious reasons, because you open it up and it's like a book. Okay, so now we've got this fold down the middle of our paper. Now I'm going to open the paper up, and I'm going to use my scissors to cut down the middle of the paper. Now, if you absolutely do not have a scissors, and you've opened up the front door to your house and you've screamed to the neighborhood, who has a scissors, and no one answered you, it's okay. What you would do is you would take your paper and you would fold the paper the other way in half, and then the other way in half, until you have a really good crease. And then generally, what you can do is rip it down the middle like that. Okay? All right. So now we've got our two halves. And we're going to go up and, we're going to take this paper, we're going to make this into a square, because this is really a rectangle, but we need it to be in a square shape. So we're going to take our side and bring it up and fold it. Okay? So now we have this. Now we're going to go up and we're going to cut that piece and put it aside. That can be our baby whale, or we can use that for something else. Always save your scraps, because for this project, you can use them for other things. We're going to start today by making the hearts, and then I'll show you how to do the whale. So we're going to open up, and now we have this square now. So we made our paper, our bigger paper, into these squares. And this is how you generally start your origami. So we're going to fold it in half like we did, okay? And then fold it in half again. All right, so now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 little sections, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to turn our paper so that it's in a diamond shape. And we're going to take that top tip and we're going to bring that tip down so that it's pointing right on that horizontal line that's going across our little page there, our piece of paper there, okay? So we've got our vertical lines, our up and down, and our horizontal side to side. So we're going to bring that top piece down so that it touches the middle, points to the middle. And then we're going to take the bottom and we're going to come up and bring it all the way up to the top. Okay, so now we have something that looks like this, sort of like a burrito, except this side is different because this flap only came down to the middle and this one comes all the way up. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky. So pause, rewind, pause again, and I will try to go as slow as possible. Now, I also want you to take a deep breath because we're not entering anything into an origami contest. We're learning, which means I'm assuming that you've never done this before. So try not to get too frustrated. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this little fold here, this little crease, and we're going to bring it up so that it meets this crease, okay? So we're going to bring this up like this. There we go, so that it's in the middle. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. Going to bring that up so that it meets us in the middle. Now, what had happened to me a lot when I was learning how to do this is one side would be like a little bit higher than the other. No biggie. You just unfold them again and come up and fold them so that you feel like the sides are equal. And I feel like these sides are pretty equal. And this is also just a total thrill because now you're seeing it looks like a heart. It's starting to look like a heart. And soon it's going to look like this. You, I suppose, could leave it like this if you like pointy hearts. Who am I to judge? But I think the rounded edges resemble much more of a heart. So how we're going to do that is pretty simple. We're just going to flip our heart over again. We're going to go up to those points and we're just going to fold it down. Take our finger and fold it down. How much do you fold it down? Just a little tiny bit. Just a little tiny bit. And then you're going to go over to the other fold and you're going to fold that in. You're just rounding out your shape so that it looks more like a heart. Now this is where a little bit of tape would be pretty nice, because what I would love is to not have those folds popping up all the time. So I'm going to take little pieces of tape and I'm going to go around and I am going to tape those sides down so that when I turn my heart over, it's going to lay flat. And there you go, when you turn it over. Now, the fun thing is, you've got this heart with this like secret compartment that you could put in like a note. I love secret compartments. What is it about me? I just love secret compartments. So if you wanted to, you could take a little piece of paper, you could make another heart, or you could just leave it like this and you could write a little note on it. Love you. Happy Valentine's Day. The eagle flies at night. Whatever you want to say. And you would take it and you could put it right in your heart. And you could leave that on your parents' pillow or on a sibling's pillow or however. So that's pretty cute. It's also cute if you just take this and take a piece of paper, and maybe you're just going to tape your heart right on that. Happy Valentine's Day, or whatever you want to do. The possibilities are endless. So now you know how to do a heart. Should I show you one more time quickly? Okay, I will. So remember, we need the square piece of paper. Remember how we got the square piece of paper? We took one of our halves. Let me move this out of the way. We took one of our halves. We took the edge and we brought it up. Now, I only learn things by doing them many, many, many times over again. And so don't be worried if you go to try to do this and you think, I can't remember, how did that work? Because that's the story of my life. So it just means you just keep practicing. That's why I'm showing you how to do this twice. So we took our rectangular piece of paper and we brought a little fold up. It's kind of hard to tell. I can see that on the video because it's all the same color. And I'm going to cut up so that now I have a square, right? And I'm going to, I already have the one crease, which is great. And then I'm going to make the other crease so that I've got a horizontal crease and a vertical crease. That's just fancy for, you know, an up and down and side to side. I'm going to take my top tip, bring it down to the middle, take my bottom, bring it all the way up to the top. Okay, so I've got this shape going now. I'm going to take this line and bring it up to this line. Something so satisfying also about folding a piece of paper. Okay, so here, look what I have. Look what Mrs. Hugh did. I have one side that's bigger than the other. I don't want that, so I'm going to undo it. And I'm going to redo it so that the sides are, you know, sort of the same size. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. And now I'm excited because I can see that it's actually turning into something. That's always the exciting part, when you have a piece of paper and all of a sudden it starts to form what you think it's what it's supposed to look like. And you think to yourself, okay, I'm on the right track. Thank goodness. I don't want those points. So I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to bring those little points down so that my heart has curved lines or softer lines, not kind of pointed, jagged lines. Okay, then we're going to turn that over. Voila. Boom, 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 boom. I heart you. Oh, you could say I heart you. That would be kind of cute. Okay, so anyway, now we know how to make our hearts. Exciting, exciting, exciting. And you can make big hearts or small hearts. You need to start off with the square piece of paper and follow the recipe that I just showed you. So now we have our hearts. I'm going to put those aside so we can learn how to do the whale. Okay, so I've done lots of different whales in lots of different colors. So origami paper is thin. It's not thick. But I've been doing these origami whales with thin paper, a lot easier to fold, and then thicker paper, which, is not as easy to fold, but it's not awful, and you can do it, and they stand up like this. If you think you're going to tape it onto another piece of paper, then I would use a thinner piece of paper. When I say a thin piece of paper, you can feel it in your hand that it's thin. A piece of construction paper is a pretty thin piece of paper. A piece of what they call cardstock paper. Let me show you what cardstock is. That's thicker. That's something like this, and it just has more weight to it, and it's thicker. It's called cardstock. That's not the best for origami, but it does make something that's sort of substantial. These whales here, I made these whales with a thinner paper, and then this is just the construction paper. Okay, let's learn how to make this really, really cute whale, because I really want to show you. I know, I'm really going to town with that joke. Okay, so we're going to get our square piece of paper. Do you remember how we made our square pieces of paper? We took our big piece of paper and we folded it in half, and then we cut down the half. And then we ended up with two pieces like so. And we take our paper, take the edge, bring it, fold it up like this. And then I go and I cut that piece off. And that little piece of scrap is going to be my baby whale. My bigger square is going to be my mama whale. So we're going to take this. We already have that crease. Turn it to look like a diamond. And now what we're going to do is we're going to sort of make a kite shape. So I'm going to take this line of paper and I'm going to bring it down to the middle line, the vertical crease that's going down. I'm turning my paper in so that they meet on the vertical, on that middle line there. I'm going to turn it like this so that it looks like a kite. Just make a little adjustments. Adjustments are good. Okay. And take the tip, bring the tip down, folding that tip down to meet these other fold-ins. Okay. See what we have here now? Okay. We had folded these in. We folded that down. Now we're going to turn it onto its side and we're going to fold it in half. So now we have this shape. Now you might say that looks like a whale. You want to turn it over. So you want that longer edge to be on the bottom. And we want the shorter edge to be on the top because this is the whale's face, like this. Okay. So we're going to end up putting the eye here and the smile here. So now here we have our whale, and we're going to take this tail and we're going to go along the bottom and figure out where we want our tail to sort of start folding up. You don't want to start folding your paper up in the middle. I think you want to be a little bit more towards the back, but give yourself enough tail. So I've decided I'm going to come to right about here. I'm going to hold that one piece of paper, the big piece of paper, down with my finger, and I'm going to take my other hand and I'm going to fold that tail up like this. Okay, so now it's really coming together, but that tail keeps coming forward. Well, what we're going to end up doing is turning this piece of paper inside out. Okay, so how do we do that? What we do is we make sort of a crease. Okay, we folded it forward. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fold it back, and we're going to do that a few times. And you're probably at this point saying, you're confusing me. And I'm sorry about that. This is the most tricky part of making the whale. But basically, we've folded that tail up. And now we're going to fold it back and then up again. And what we're doing is we're making a crease that is making the paper soft so that when we go to turn that tail inside out, it doesn't give us a lot of resistance, because turning the tail inside out can be tricky. So you're almost like making a tread or like a path, so that it's easy for you to turn that paper inside out. Okay, so we've gone forward, we've gone back, now we're going forward again. Now we're going to turn our tail inside out. We're going to turn it in on itself. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your finger and you're going to pinch the top. Okay, so you're going to try to hold that. And now you're going to take your other hand, and here's our tail, right? So it was up like this. So I'm bringing it down, and I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to push on the tail so that it folds inside out, and then it's going to come up like this. Okay. And those creases, hopefully. Now you're going to have to kind of just work with this a little bit and try not to get too frustrated. But now my tail's coming up. Okay, so now I've got the tail coming up. Can actually come up a little bit further. There we go. Okay, so what I did is we turned that, I'll show you again, we turned that paper inside like this. We pushed it so that now we have this fold coming sort of in on itself. Now you're going to take your scissors and you're going to come up and you're going to snip like a little inch or so off of that tail. And then you're going to go and you're going to fold the sides of the tail down so that now we have this tail. Now this can even stand up like that on its side, which is great. Or you can tape it down to something. And now we're going to go in and make a cute little face on our whale. So we've got this part of the whale, and then we have this part of the whale, and then this is the belly or the underside. I want to come to this section, and this is where I'm going to make a nice, big, happy smile. This is not a killer whale. This is a Valentine whale. And then I'm going to come up and make a nice, big eye. The placements of eyes are fascinating because where you place the eye is going to determine the whole personality and the look and the disposition and the mood of your whatever you're putting the eye on. It's amazing. And the size, we're going to talk about that a little bit later in another video, but it really is incredible. The placement of something like an eye and the size of it, how it changes the whole personality of whether this is a happy whale or a kind of annoyed whale or a whale that might have I don't know, eaten something that it shouldn't have, whatever. But how I decided where to place this eye is if you come to the whale, let me turn it over on the other side. We've got this angle here, we've got the angle down, and the angle down is where we're putting the mouth with this cute little kind of, this just kind of makes it look like he has a big cheek. And then I've decided with my eye, if I put it here, it would be way too low. If I put it up here, it would be way too high. So I'm taking that little tip there and kind of working my way back from that and up just a little bit, okay? And then I'm gonna go in, because I can't resist a rosy cheek. I think it just makes everything sort of happier and just a little bit more whimsical and cute. And I'm gonna put a little rosy cheek, which is just a little circle, kind of where I have that fold. And now we have a really cute whale, just like the whale we have here and here. I've made quite a few. So let me show you how to make the baby whale. You're going to take that scrap piece of paper that you have. Again, we're going to take that rectangle and make it into a square by folding up one of the sides, because that is going to make a perfect square. Okay, so now we open that up. Remember this? Remember how we do it from here? Like this. And we bring down our sides. Okay, so you're bringing this angle to meet this angle. And different papers, like I said before, are going to be different to work with because of their thickness and such. So we're gonna turn it so that it looks like a kite. Take that tip, bring it down. I know my fingers are in the way, so sometimes it's hard to see, but that's what I did. So I brought the sides in and I brought that down. Now we're going to turn it on its side and fold it up. So now I'm excited because I can see that that whale body shape is forming. I know that that sort of looks like a whale, but I'm actually going to turn it so that this is how we have our whale. So not like this, although, I mean, I know it's confusing because that looks sort of like a whale, but actually we're going to turn it like so. We're going to come up and we're going to turn that tail up like this. Now I know that I have to turn that tail inside out, and I know that it's going to be difficult if I don't have a good crease on both sides. So I'm going to fold it to the front, turn it to the back, fold it, turn it to the front and fold it. I'm just trying to make that paper a little bit creasy so that it'll be easier when I go to fold my tail inside out. Okay, so here I have my tail. Now it's time for me to fold it inside out. So I'm going to pinch the top of my whale and I'm going to push my finger down. This is going to be the part that you're probably going to have to just practice a little bit, maybe even ask for help or rewind and look at. So now I've got that tail coming up. Now I'm going to come over, snip, fold my little side down so that my tail is like that. So cute. Now I'm going to go in, make my eye, make my face, make my rosy cheek with a marker or a crayon, or you can even take another piece of paper and cut a little circle. And now you have a mama and a baby, or a daddy and a baby, or a bigger brother and a baby, however you want. But it looks, I'm sorry, so cute. So if you know how to do your whale and you want to glue it onto a piece of paper and then you want to take a heart and glue it on, I mean, it's just so cute. And I would love to see what you are doing. So I'd love for you to send me a picture, 4th grade, of your origami, what you made at home. And the pictures that you send, I usually print out, and we're going to be putting them up on the February bulletin board. So you learned something new today. And I think that's really fun. And I love to teach you all things that you might not have known before because I think it builds confidence. And I think it's great to be able to say, I can make a heart out of a piece of paper. Get a load of me. Anyway, love to all my Griffins. Keep being colorful, keep being creative, and I hope you enjoyed this origami, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week when you're back in school. All right, guys, thumbs up.